What up, everyone? This is Mr. Lord, Dr. Professor, Dark Joker, with another edition of Where, Pick, and Dare, where I pick games for the various games that are occurring tomorrow. Whether it's football, baseball, basketball, basically whatever games I want to pick, I will pick them. With all that being said, on with the video. College baseball. Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets versus Boston College Eagles. This is the first game of the series. Georgia Tech is 3 nation, 42-9 record. Boston College is 23 nation, 36-17 record. This is at Boston College. So yeah, this could be a good game. I mean, two ranked ACC teams. I mean, Tech's like in the top 5. Boston College is like somewhere in the 20s. I mean, like, you know, that definitely does, like, it could be a pretty good game. Like, as far as like, size of the fan base, I mean, don't know how much like how big Boston College's fan base is, but it is a long way from Georgia Tech. So I do think there will be a home field advantage there. I mean, so I think Boston College will beat Georgia Tech tomorrow. Mississippi State Bulldogs versus Texas A&M Aggies. This is game one of the series. Mississippi State's 13 nation, 38-14 record. A&M is 10 nation, 36-13 record. This is at A&M. So yeah, this two very closely ranked teams. This is SEC. That's going to be a big deal. Yeah, with this at A&M, I think Texas A&M will beat Mississippi State tomorrow. Ole Miss Rebels versus Alabama Crimson Tide. This is game one of the series. Ole Miss is 15 nation, 36-17 record. Bama is 18 nation, 35-17 record. This is at Alabama. So yeah, very closely ranked SEC teams. Could be a pretty good game. This is with this being at Alabama. Who knows how many people will actually show up? I mean, even though Bama's ranked, I mean, Ole Miss. Like if this was Mississippi State, there are probably more Mississippi State people there than Bama people because it's only like an hour and a half like drive between Mississippi State and Alabama. Ole Miss, it's a little far in that, but there may be a decent crowd there for Ole Miss. But I still think just based on distance, there probably still be more Bama people. So I think with home field advantage, I think Alabama will beat Ole Miss tomorrow. Georgia Bulldogs versus Auburn Tigers. This is game one of the series. So Georgia's 4 nation, 41-11 record. Auburn's 5 nation, 35-16 record. This is at Auburn. So yeah, two top 5 SEC teams. I mean, definitely like this is probably the biggest series of the weekend. Like that would like I mean like with a lot of the implications this could have for the for the SEC tournament, you know, like could be like well, I mean like so I mean like Georgia is like in the conference standings, Georgia is like no like basically the top ranked like in the SEC like as far as conference standings go. Like so basically like and so yeah, Georgia has won like the regular season title. Like they've done that, so that'll give some momentums, and they've like clinched the 1 seed in the SEC tournament. This could more so affect Auburn, so Auburn has more to play for here. So with that and this being at Auburn, I think Auburn will beat Georgia tomorrow. USC Trojans versus Oregon Ducks. This is game one of the series. So USC 17 nation, 41-12 record. Oregon 16 nation, 36-14 record. This is at Oregon. So yeah, two very closely ranked Big Ten teams. Basically like two of the bigger like baseball schools like in the Big Ten. So I think this could be a pretty good game. I think with it being at Oregon, I think Oregon will beat USC tomorrow. MLB. San Diego Padres versus Milwaukee Brewers. The Padres have a 33.4% chance to win. The Brewers have a 66.6% chance to win. This is at Milwaukee. For starting pitchers, for the Padres, Griffin Canning has a career ERA of 4.68, WHIP of 1.34. And for the Brewers, Kyle Harrison has a career ERA of 4.1, WHIP of 1.3. So yeah, this is a not really good pitching for either team. Not really seeing a difference here. For injuries, for the Padres, Jake Cronenworth and Blake Hunt are on 7-day IL. Um, German Marquez is on 15-day IL. Jahoni Britos on 6-day IL, and Luis Campusano's on 10-day IL. For the Brewers, JB Bukaskas is on 7-day IL. Brandon Woodruff's on and Jared Koenig are on 15-day IL, and Rob Zastrizny and Akil Badu are on 60-day IL. For stats, the Brewers have a higher batting average, have more runs, hits. Padres have more home runs. Brewers have a higher on base percentage. Padres have a higher slugging percentage, ERA. Walks plus hits per innings pitched is even. Brewers have a more walks, strikeouts. Padres have a higher opponent batting average. So yeah, so with this, the Brewers have 27 more runs, 17 more hits. Padres have 13 more home runs, so a lot of that may offset a little bit. And with the pitching stats, I mean, Brewers have 11 more walks and 20 more strikeouts, so that may offset a little bit. So with all that, I think home field advantage is going to be a big thing here. So I think the Brewers will beat the Padres tomorrow. St. Louis Cardinals versus Athletics. The Cards have a 53% chance to win. The A's have a 47% chance to win. This is at Sacramento. For starting pitchers for the Cards, Michael McGreevy has a career ERA of 3.46, WHIP of 1.08. And for the A's, Jacob Lopez has a career ERA of 4.66, WHIP of 1.38. So that's good pitching for McGreevy, not really good pitching for Lopez. So it's a definite starting pitching advantage for the Cards. So with injuries for the Cards, Matt Pushard's on 15-day IL, Ramon Urias is on 10-day IL, and Lars Nootbaar, Ison Henderson, and Victor Santos are on 60-day IL. For the A's, Brooks Krisk is day-to-day. Max Muncy and Denzel Clark and Jacob Wilson are on 10-day IL, and Gunnar Hoglund's on 60-day IL. For stats, the A's have a higher batting average. The Cards have more runs. A's have more hits. Cards have more home runs. A's have a higher on-base percentage, slugging percentage, ERA, more walks plus hits per innings pitched, more walks, strikeouts, and a higher opponent batting average. So with these stats, Cards have 12 more runs than the A's, but the A's have like 21 more hits, so some of that will offset a little bit. And A's have like 22 more walks and 32 more strikeouts, so that may offset as well. So with all that, I think the starting pitching advantage is going to be a big thing here. So I think the Cardinals will beat the Athletics tomorrow. Chicago Cubs versus Atlanta Braves. The Cubs have a 33.7% chance to win. The Braves have a 66.3% chance to win. This is at Atlanta. For starting pitchers, for the Cubs, Ben Brown has a career ERA of 4.61, WHIP of 1.25. And for the Braves, Chris Sale has a career ERA of 2.99, WHIP of 1.04. So that's a really good pitching for Sale. Not really good pitching for Brown. So it's a definite starting pitching advantage for the Braves. For injuries, for the Cubs, Jordan Wicks, Caleb Thielbar, and Matthew Boyd are on 15-day IL. Jackson Wiggins is on 7-day IL. And Jeff Brigham's on 60-day IL. For the Braves, Dylan Dodd, Hurston, Waldrop are on 15-day IL. Blake Burkhalter and Eli White are on 7-day IL. And Ronald Acuna Jr. is on 10-day IL. For stats, the Braves have a higher batting average, more runs, hits. Cubs have more home. Well, Braves also more home runs. Cubs have a higher on base percentage. Braves have a higher slugging percentage. Cubs have a higher ERA, more walks plus hits per innings pitched. Braves have more walks, more strikeouts. Cubs have a higher opponent batting average. So with these stats, the Braves have 16 more runs. 42 more hits and 7 more home runs. So it's a definite batting advantage for the Braves. And so, with 16 more walks, but 26 more strikeouts, and the pitching stuff offsets a little bit. So starting pitching and batting advantage and home field advantage will be the big things here. So I think the Braves will beat the Cubs tomorrow. And that's it for picks. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening to my picks. Do you agree with them? Do you not? If you have different picks, you can put them in the comments. But other than that, please like, subscribe, and all that. Thank you for listening, and look forward to the next video.